Have you ever wondered if the orange that I see and the orange that you see are actually two entirely different shades of color? And we only agree it's orange because we both point at it and go, yeah, that's orange. What is up, you all? My name is Mikael, aka Michael, aka Not Snoot, and I am one of the community managers here at Coffee Stain Studios for Satisfactory. And today I want to talk to you about Satisfactory 1.0. I know. We did say during the spill, which by the way, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's only about 4 hours short right here on this channel. We did talk about the fact that we are currently mapping out and developing Satisfactory 1.1 for the near future, on top of talking about Fixmas and just generally where the game might be heading from now on. So yeah, go check that out. Today, however, I want to talk about 1.0 because the game is still kind of hot out the oven, and as it turns out, there are features that's been in the game since launch that we forgot to talk to you about before the game launched. Better late than never. Oops. Let's get the big, flashy and obvious one out of the way first and talk about portals. Because yes, spoilers, if you haven't made it to the end game yet, or Phase 5 Tier 9 of Satisfactory, portals are now a thing in the game. How you unlock these is by completing the milestone Spatial Energy Regulation in Tier 9, whereupon you will be unlocking 2 buildings, the main portal and the satellite portal. You can proceed to place these buildings anywhere you want on the map, link them through the building's UI, and then when you're all set up, enjoy instant teleportation. To build a portal, you are going to need the following. And yes, blatant cheat sheet, because let's face it, I am not building these without AGS anytime soon. You are going to need 5 turbo motors, 10 radio control units, 15 superposition oscillators, 25 SAM fluctuators, and 50 fixite Toblerone trigons. When you place your portals on the map, you'll realize that the main portal has a conveyor belt input attached to it, and this is for an item called the Singularity Cell. The Singularity Cell is unlocked in the same milestone as the portals themselves, and they are used to both boot the portals up in the first place and then keep them online. You will need a single cell fed to the main portal to boot the portals up. When you do so, they will consume 1000 megawatts of energy during their startup sequence, and when they stabilize and are to be kept online, the main portal will require 2 cells per minute and consume 250 megawatts of energy per minute to be kept online. And if you don't, they will shut down and the world will become a bit more boring again. Since we are on the topic of the endgame, let's stay here for a while and talk about another feature, one that's been highly requested since Update 7, namely the Blueprint Designer Mark not 1, not 2, but Mark 3. That's right, team. In 1.0, your blueprint aspirations have expanded to a grandiose 6x6 foundational scale. You unlock the Mark 3 Blueprint Designer by completing the milestone, well, Fix-It Blueprints Mark 3. Kinda speaks for itself. To build one of these bad girls, you will need 10 neural quantum processors, 20 fused modular frames, 50 time crystals, and 100 fixite trigons. We've been hearing a lot of feedback about the spatial limitations of the Blueprint Designer since Update 7, and so it thought that with 1.0 it is indeed time to expand. Not only to the Mark II, which also obviously exists in the game, Coffee Stain would never skip the number 2 in any context, but then also even all the way up to Mark III. So you have the Mark I with 4x4 foundations, Mark II with 5x5, and Mark III with 6x6. That's what you're getting, team. Have a ball. Let's talk about another feature of the game with 1.0 that is available much, much earlier than the endgame, namely character customization. Character customization is available the moment you have a hub placed anywhere on your map. You access the menu for this by entering your hub's living accommodations and then interacting with the fix-it lockers you find in there. In the customization menu, you will see options for changing your Pioneer's helmet, build gun model and trinket dangling off of the build gun. You will also see sliders for changing the color of most of your Pioneer's clothing and the color of the build gun. The color of the trinkets, however, cannot be changed. There is no real cost or limitation to how often or how much you can change your character customization or your character's appearance. So do experiment till your heart's content. If you do find a color mix that you grow very fond of or that you just like on the spot, you can save this as a preset and then load it later if you want to then be able to experiment further. So say you find a style you really like or a color mix you really like, you can save these colors as a preset, experiment further, and if you just want to hop back to your favorite style, which you found earlier, you can just load this preset, save it as a profile, and bam, rock the star. And that's a few things we forgot to talk about that you now know about if you did not already. I'm sure there's more we've forgotten. Again, forgetting information is kind of the act of involuntarily dismantling information from your brain. So if that pops back up from the ether, we'll talk about it. And if it doesn't, we won't. Tough shit. The game is out. Go find it. We really want to thank you all again for the insanely warm reception of Satisfactory since the game launched on September 10. It's been humbling to see so many pioneers, frankly a shit ton of pioneers, play the game, have all kinds of wacky fun with it, be it early game or in the end game. Every single dev has at some point watched streams, watched videos, seen highlights. If you follow the dev streams, you know I can barely wrap my head around those highlights sometimes, but it's still heartwarming and humbling to see the insane scale of the creative stuff you guys produce. So thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We love you all. Actually, it's been so good that Satisfactory has kind of been nominated for the Golden Joystick Award PC Game of the Year, which is kind of dope. So if you would like to see that train reach all the way to home station, please swing by and give us a vote, and let's see if we can fit another trinket in these shelves somewhere. But yeah, that's truly all for now. Again, team, thank you so much for your support. Whether you've been with us since early alpha or since 1.0 launched or even after launch, thank you so much for just sharing this game with all of us. We love you and we want to assure you we've reached 1.0. The game might finally have launched, but the journey of Satisfactory is far from over. More is coming.